Okay, welcome to our project. So five of us will each be giving you our biomes as well as the characteristics of each, and we don't have a lot of time, so let's get started. So I have three biomes. I'll be going with tropical rainforest, tropical dry forest, and savanna. The temperature for each, the tropical rainforest is around 80 degrees Fahrenheit average. Tropical dry forest between 68 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit on average, and savanna is 68 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. For everything going forward, it's just the average, but there can be deviations. For precipitation, tropical rainforest has between 79 and 394 inches in a year. Tropical dry forest has between 20 and 80 inches a year, and savanna has between 30 to 58 inches a year. Humidity for the tropical rainforest is 77 to 88%, but it's often higher. For tropical dry forest, 20 to 60% in dry season, but it gets higher during the rainy season. And for the savanna, it's very humid in the summer, but it's lower in the winter. For seasonal patterns, for all three, it's not specific. There's not four seasons that they have. It's more of a change between wet and dry seasons. So there'll be a time with more rainfall, then there'll be a time with less rainfall. For vegetation, for the tropical rainforest would be canopy trees, ferns, and mosses. For tropical dry forest would be like broadleaves and evergreen trees. And for savanna, it would be baobab, acacia, and elephant grass. For animal life, for tropical rainforest, you've got monkeys, jaguars, and sloths. For tropical dry forest, you've got monkeys again, pumas, and deer. And for savanna, you have like lions, zebras, and cheetahs. Soil quality for all of them is very poor, low fertility. For tropical rainforest, it's very highly weathered because of the rain. For tropical dry forest, it's also weathered for the same reason. And for the savanna, it's very porous and also nutrient poor. For the terrain, the tropical rainforest has very vertical layers with different types of trees and foliage in each. For tropical dry forest, they're usually found on the side of mountains between 10 and 25 degrees latitude. And for savannas, they're usually grasslands with scattered trees.
I'll be covering the tundra and polar biomes. Both biomes experience record low temperatures and record low precipitation, reflecting that the climate is one of extreme cold and low humidity. They both only have two seasons, both a winter and a summer months. And due to the extreme cold in the environment, they both have the soil texture consistent to that of permafrost, meaning that only certain adapted plants can grow in these environments. This is where the similarities start to differ. In that of the tundra is more equitable to animals such as the Arctic fox and the snowy owl, and plants such as the Arctic lily, whereas due to the expanse of plains and not as much ice and snow as the polar opposite, being large expanses of ice and snow and being more home to animals such as walruses and emperor penguin.
Hi, my name is Sanaya Bryant, and I will be telling you about two different biomes. The first biome is temperate forest. The temperate forest has 4 different distinct seasons with moderate temperatures, such as warm summers and cold winters that often drop below freezing temps. They receive about 750 through 1500 millimeters of precipitation yearly as of rain or snow and have a growing season of 140 to 200 days. These forests support diverse plant life, including oaks, pines, firs, and many other understory plants. The wildlife there are deers, bears, raccoons, and squirrels, and the fertile soils and varied terrain make temperate forests rich and dynamic ecosystem. The next one is taiga. The taiga/boreal forest has long, very cold winters and short, cool summers, with temperatures below freezing temps for about half the year. It gets moderate precipitation, mainly snow, and has a short growing season. The different plants they have are spruce, pine, and fir that dominate the plant life. The plants also adapt to the harsh climate. The wildlife that is there are moose, wolves, bears, and snowshoe hares that survive through hibernation, migration, or seasonal fur changes. The spanning of the northern region of the taiga has shaped the cold temperatures and poor soil and frequent wildfires. And that is all.
So the temperate forest has 4 distinctive seasons with warm summers and cold winters. The yearly average is around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and the rainfall is between 30 to 60 inches yearly. The temperate forest is divided into very distinctive layers, so from the tree stratum to the shrub and herb layer, and then to the forest floor. For animal life, there's mammals including deer, black bears, squirrels, rabbits, and raccoons. There are also many bird species here. The soil is very fertile due to rich organic humus created by the decomposition of fallen leaves and other organic matter. And now for temperate grasslands, they experience very cold winters and hot summers, with winters being below freezing and summer temperatures exceeding 90 degrees Fahrenheit. They receive only about 20 to 35 inches of rain annually, mostly occurring in late spring and early summer. The dominant plant species is grasses, and they lack trees. And they have grasses such as purple needlegrass, buffalo grass, and wild oats. For animal life, they have larger herbivores such as bison, antelope, deer, and zebras, smaller herbivores such as prairie dogs, rabbits, and gophers, predators such as coyotes, wolves, foxes, ferrets, which hunt the herbivores, and bird species such as hawks and eagles. The soil is also very fertile, resulting from the decomposition of dense grass roots, and the terrain is relatively open, flat, and it consists of treeless plains, which are often located in continental interiors or in the rain shadow of mountain ranges. Thank you.
What's going on? My name is Hannah Quinn. I will be going over the desert and chaparral biomes. First off, with the desert biome, temperature-wise, as we know, it is very hot. It hardly ever rains. In fact, it gets about less than 10 inches of rain per year. During the night, it gets extremely cold, so the temperatures usually fluctuate, and then humidity is very low and very dry. Types of vegetation, you see a lot of cactus there, succulents, and sage brushes. Lots of animals in the desert, mainly lizards, rattlesnakes. For the soil and terrain, it is very sandy and rocky. There isn't much like soil like you would find in a rainforest or something. There's not much organic matter. There isn't much nutrients in the soil. However, there is a lot of drainage. For the chaparral biomes, temperature is really usually warm, dry summers, and then there's usually like milder, wet winters. The chaparral is primarily in like California and Colorado as well. Precipitation is usually 10 to 20 inches annually, and that happens mostly in the winter. Similar to different climates such as like tropical climates, where during the winter it really doesn't get cold, it just rains a whole lot. Moderate humidity during the summer, and it's more humid in the winter since it is raining a lot more. The types of plants that you see in the chaparral biome, you see a lot of aromatic plants. In fact, you're able to find a lot of rosemary and thyme. As far as animal life is concerned, there's a lot of coyotes, bobcats, deers, rabbits, things like that. As far as the soil and terrain is concerned, it is very nutrient poor, and it is thin and rocky. It is prone to erosion, so it's easily eroded, and there isn't much moisture retention. The physical geography, like I said, it's located in the hills of like California and Colorado, so it's very hilly, a lot of mountains, things like that, places where you could probably hike, a lot of slopes, and it is very dry, and the landscape is dominated by like shrubs and stuff like that. But that is all for my section. Thank you.